The phone's shrill ring slices through my peaceful evening like a knife, and somehow I know, before I even answer, that everything is about to change. My knitting needles clatter to the floor as I reach for the receiver, my hands already trembling. Grandma? Liv's voice breaks on that single word. I'm Violet, and at 65, I thought I'd seen every shade of family drama possible. But nothing prepared me for this moment. I'm pregnant. The words tumble out between her sobs. Brandon. He just laughed when I told him. Said we'd figure it out later. My throat tightens. I can picture her now, probably curled up in that window seat of her tiny apartment, the one she was so proud to rent after graduation. Just 18 and already facing this mountain. Where is he now? I keep my voice steady, though my free hand clenches into a fist. At band practice. Said he couldn't miss it because they have a gig this weekend. Fresh tears color her words. He said it's not a big deal, that lots of people have babies young. Daniel, my husband, walks into the living room. One look at my face and he's beside me, his hand on my shoulder. I switch to speakerphone. Come home, sweetheart, I tell her. We'll sort this out together. I can't face Mom and Dad, she whispers. They're not even in the country, and I can't. Then come here. Your grandfather and I will help you figure this out. After we hang up, Daniel paces the room. That boy, he mutters. I knew he was trouble from the moment he showed up in that ridiculous leather jacket, acting like he was God's gift to music. He needs a reality check, I say, my mind already churning with possibilities. What about offering him that junior position at your firm? Daniel stops pacing. You want me to reward him? No. I smooth my skirt, buying time to organize my thoughts. I want to give him enough rope to hang himself with. The doorbell rings 40 minutes later. Liv stands there, mascara streaked down her cheeks, looking so young it makes my heart ache. Behind her, Brandon lounges against his beat-up car, scrolling through his phone. Brandon, I call out, my voice honey-sweet with poison. Why don't you come in too? We should discuss this as a family. He saunters up the walkway, all confidence and casual charm. Mrs. Thompson, it's cool. We've got this under control. Do you? I step aside to let them in. And how exactly do you plan to support a child while pursuing your music career? Oh, we'll figure it out. He drops onto our sofa, arm around Liv. My band's getting some real attention lately. We might even get signed soon. Daniel enters from his study, face carefully neutral. Brandon, I might have a proposition for you. How would you feel about learning the consulting business? Brandon's eyes light up, probably already calculating dollar signs. For real, Mr. Thompson? That would be awesome. I watch him take the bait, remembering how my own daughter, Liv's mother, struggled as a single parent before her death. History won't repeat itself. Not on my watch. We'll start you Monday, Daniel says. 8 a.m. sharp. Later, after they've gone, Daniel turns to me. You're plotting something. Me? I pick up my fallen knitting needles, testing their points with my finger. I'm just a concerned grandmother looking out for her family. But we both know better. Brandon Carter has no idea what he's walked into, and by the time he figures it out, it'll be too late. Sometimes the cruelest revenge is giving someone exactly what they think they want. I settle back in my chair and begin to knit again, each stitch a careful step in my plan to protect Liv and make Brandon pay for his casual cruelty. I've spent a lifetime perfecting pot roast dinners, but tonight's meat might as well be sawdust in my mouth. Across my carefully set dining room table, Carla Carter dabs her lips with her napkin. Her perfectly manicured nails catching the light as she launches into another defense of her precious son. Brandon's always been special, she simpers, reaching over to pat his hand. He just needs time to find his footing. Don't you agree, Tom? Tom Carter grunts, pushing his food around his plate. The man hasn't looked Daniel in the eye once tonight. Though he's been stealing glances at our crown molding and antique silverware like he's appraising them. Well, I say, setting down my fork with a deliberate clink, special or not, there's a baby on the way. And babies need more than potential to thrive. Brandon slouches in his chair, phone peeking out from under the tablecloth. Mom, tell them about that producer who came to our last gig. He said we had real promise. Oh yes. Carla brightens. This gentleman was very impressed. Said Brandon's band has a unique sound. I watch Liv's face fall slightly. She's barely touched her food, and her hand keeps drifting to her still flat stomach. Daniel catches my eye, and I know we're thinking the same thing. Our granddaughter deserves better than empty promises and a mother-in-law who treats her son like he's still 5 years old. Speaking of the future, Daniel interjects, Brandon, how are you finding the work at the firm? It's cool, Mr. Thompson. Really interesting stuff. Brandon's attention remains fixed on his phone. Interesting enough to put the phone away during dinner? The words slip out before I can stop them, sharp as broken glass. Carla's laugh tinkles like cheap wind chimes. Oh, you know how young people are these days. Always connected. Tom, remember when we were their age? Tom's knife scrapes against his plate. We had responsibilities. Jobs. A mortgage. And look where that got us, Carla mutters, her smile faltering for just a moment. The tension thickens like smoke. Liv shifts uncomfortably in her chair, and I notice she's wearing the pearl earrings her mother left her. My dead daughter's voice echoes in my head, Mom, sometimes love isn't enough. Brandon has shown real initiative at work, Daniel says, though we both know he's spent more time in the break room than at his desk. With some mentoring, he could have a real future in consulting. But what about his music? Carla protests. He can't give up his dreams just because. Just because he's going to be a father? I finish for her, my voice honey sweet. Interesting priorities, Carla. Liv stands suddenly, her chair scraping back. Excuse me, she mumbles, fleeing toward the bathroom. Brandon half rises, then sits back down when his phone buzzes. Probably just morning sickness, he says, thumbs flying over his screen. I fold my napkin carefully, counting to 10 in my head. Tom, how's the job search going? The question lands like a slap. Tom's face reddens. I have prospects. I'm sure you do, I say, watching Carla's perfectly composed facade crack just slightly. Must be difficult, depending on your son's new job, to make ends meet. Daniel kicks me under the table, but I'm beyond caring. These people, with their excuses and enabling, are everything wrong with Liv's situation. Actually, Brandon pipes up, oblivious to the undercurrents, I was thinking of cutting back my hours at the firm. The band's got this residency opportunity. Absolutely not. Daniel's voice carries the weight of 30 years in business. You made a commitment. To the firm and to Liv. The silence that follows is deafening. Liv returns, pale and shaking, and I rise to help her to her seat. As I pass behind Brandon, I glimpse his phone screen, a message from someone named Crystal about tonight's performance. My hand steady as I return to my seat. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destruction, it's about letting people destroy themselves while you simply remove the safety nets. More pot roast, anyone? I ask, smiling as I reach for the serving fork. There's plenty to go around. The company expense reports spread across my kitchen table tell their own sordid story. 3-hour client lunches at bars near music venues. Taxi receipts from midnight runs. Equipment rentals that have nothing to do with consulting. I've been tracking Brandon's movements for weeks, and the pattern is clear as crystal. You need to see this, I tell Daniel, pushing the stack toward him. He adjusts his reading glasses, scanning the documents. His jaw tightens. The little bastard's been using the company card for his band expenses. And that's not all. I slide over a printed screenshot from social media. Notice the timing of his business meetings last Thursday? The image shows Brandon on stage at the Blue Room, guitar in hand, timestamped during what should have been an important client presentation. Daniel's face darkens as he recognizes the custom suit he'd bought Brandon specifically for that meeting. A key turns in the front door. Liv walks in, her pregnancy now showing beneath her sweater. "Grandma? I brought those prenatal vitamins you," she stops, taking in the papers, our expressions. "What's wrong?" "Nothing, sweetheart," I start to say, but Daniel cuts me off. "Your boyfriend is stealing from the company." The color drains from Liv's face. "That's not." "Brandon wouldn't." "He would and he has." I gesture to the evidence. "While you're preparing for your baby, he's living a double life." "You're spying on him?" Her voice rises. "How could you? How could we not?" The words come out sharper than intended. "Someone has to look out for you. I can look out for myself." But her hand trembles as she picks up one of the receipts. The front door opens again. Brandon saunters in, carrying his guitar case. He freezes when he sees us all gathered around the evidence of his deception. "Hey, what's everyone looking at?" His casual tone makes my blood boil. "Your creative accounting," Daniel says coldly. "Care to explain why the company's paying for your band equipment?" Brandon's charm switches on like a light. "Oh, that? I was going to talk to you about that. See, I've been networking, making connections for the firm through my music scene contacts." "Really?" I pull out my phone, playing a video someone sent me. Brandon on stage, clearly drunk, announcing to the crowd, "Screw the corporate world. Music is my real job, the suit life just pays the bills." Liv makes a small, wounded sound. "You told me the band was just a hobby now. Baby, come on." Brandon reaches for her, but she steps back. "Don't baby me. I'm carrying your child while you're out living some rockstar fantasy? It's not like that." "Then what is it like?" I demand, standing. "Because from where I'm sitting, you're taking advantage of everyone in this room. My husband's generosity. My granddaughter's trust. Our family's reputation." Tom Carter's words from dinner echo in my head. We had responsibilities. At least he'd tried, failed as he might have. His son doesn't even bother with the pretense. "I can explain everything," Brandon says, but his eyes dart between the papers and the door. "Please do," Daniel says. "Starting with the $5,000 in unauthorized expenses." Brandon's facade cracks. "You don't understand. The band's about to break through. We just need a little more time, a little more investment." "Investment?" Liv's voice is barely a whisper. "Is that what I am to you? An investment?" The silence that follows is devastating. Brandon's phone chimes, probably Crystal again, and Liv flinches at the sound. "I think you should leave," I tell Brandon, my voice steady despite the rage coursing through me. "Daniel will expect your resignation on his desk tomorrow morning." "You can't do this," he protests. "My dad. We need this job. You should have thought of that before you betrayed our trust." I turn to Liv, whose tears are falling freely now. "Sweetheart, you don't have to decide anything right now." But I can see in her eyes that something has already been decided. Sometimes the truth is the cruelest revenge of all. Brandon storms out, leaving his guitar case behind. The slam of the door echoes through the house like a gunshot, and I know this is just the beginning of the war. 3 days after Brandon's exposure, I find Liv in her mother's old room, clutching a small velvet box. My heart catches, I recognize it immediately. The engagement ring Tom Carter presented to Carla 20 years ago, now being offered as a desperate peace offering to my granddaughter. "He came by this morning," Liv says without looking up. "Said he's ready to commit, to be a real family." The late afternoon sun streams through the window, catching the cheap crystal, making it sparkle like something precious. Just like Brandon, all flash, no substance. His mother dropped this off an hour ago. I pick up a thick manila envelope from the bed. Inside are bank statements, showing a modest trust fund in Brandon's name. Apparently, Tom's been saving this for years. Their safety net. Liv's fingers tighten around the ring box. They want us to use it for a down payment on a house. Start fresh. With whose money? The question comes out sharper than intended. The money Tom's been hiding while claiming unemployment? Or the company funds Brandon stole? Grandma, please. Her voice cracks. He's trying. I sit beside her on the bed, where her mother once dreamed her own teenage dreams. Is he? Or is he running scared now that his safety net's been cut? My phone buzzes. A text from Daniel, Carter family lawyer, called. Threatening wrongful termination suit. The rage rises in me like a tide. After everything, they dare to threaten us? There's something else. Liv's hand drifts to her belly. Brandon's band got offered a 3-month tour opening for some indie group. He wants me to come with them. In your condition? Living on a tour bus? He says we could make it work. That it's our big chance. A knock at the door makes us both jump. Daniel stands there, his face grave. Violet, you need to see this. In his study, he pulls up security footage from the company parking garage. There's Brandon, letting himself in after hours with his key card. He's loading equipment into a van, not band gear this time, but expensive office electronics. When was this? My voice sounds distant to my own ears. Last night. After he claimed he was returning his key card. Does Liv know? Not yet. Daniel rubs his temples. The police want to know if we're pressing charges. I think of Liv upstairs, holding that worthless ring, still trying to believe in happy endings. I think of my daughter, who never got to see her own child grow up. I think of Tom and Carla Carter, enabling their son's worst instincts while threatening our family. Give me 24 hours, I say finally. Before you call the police. Violet. Daniel's warning tone is familiar. What are you planning? Nothing illegal. I smooth my skirt, a habit from my teaching days. Just a lesson in consequences. Back upstairs, Liv has fallen asleep, the ring box still clutched in her hand. I ease it from her fingers, replace it with her mother's old diary, the one containing all the hard truths about young love and broken promises. My phone buzzes again. A text from an unknown number, Mrs. Thompson, it's Tom. We need to talk. Privately. Perfect. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying someone, it's about giving them just enough rope to hang themselves. I text back, tomorrow. Noon. The diner on 5th. Liv stirs in her sleep, murmuring Brandon's name. I pull her blanket higher, remembering all the times I did this for her mother. History won't repeat itself. Not this time. I take one last look at the security footage, freeze-framing Brandon's face as he loads our stolen property into his van. In the grainy image, he's smiling, that same careless smile he wore when Liv told him about the baby. Sweet dreams, sweetheart, I whisper to Liv. Tomorrow will bring enough nightmares for everyone. I close the study door quietly, already mapping out my next moves. Some might call it revenge, but I prefer to think of it as justice, served cold, with a side of harsh reality. The diner's fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows across Tom Carter's face as he slides into the booth across from me. His hands shake slightly as he places a thick folder on the table. You're going to want to see this, he says, pushing it toward me. Before I can open it, my phone buzzes. Liv's name flashes on the screen. One moment, I tell Tom, answering quickly. Grandma? Liv's voice is tight with pain. Something's wrong. The baby. My heart stops. Where are you? Home. I tried calling Brandon, but I'm on my way. I stand, but Tom grabs my wrist. Wait. You need to know what Brandon's really been planning. I yank my arm free. My granddaughter's in labor. Whatever game you're playing can wait. He's leaving tonight, Tom blurts out. For good. Taking the band money, the stolen equipment, everything. He doesn't know about the baby coming early. The folder falls open, spilling concert posters across the table. Tour dates, starting tonight. 3 months on the road. Brandon's face smirks up at me from the glossy paper. Why are you telling me this? Tom's shoulders sag. Because I failed as a father. Don't let him fail as one too. My phone buzzes again, Daniel this time. Ambulance is on the way. Where are you? The universe has impeccable timing for its cruelest jokes. Call Brandon, I tell Tom. Tell him to get to St. Mary's Hospital now. If he doesn't show up, he won't answer my calls anymore. Then find him. You know where he'll be. I gather the posters, my hand steady despite the rage building inside me. And Tom? If he gets on that tour bus instead of going to his child's birth, make sure he understands what he's losing. The hospital corridor feels endless. Liv's cries echo off the sterile walls as I rush to her room. Daniel meets me at the door, his face grim. Brandon? He shakes his head. Inside, Liv clutches the bed rails, her face contorted in pain. He's not coming, is he? I take her hand, feeling the bones shift under my grip as another contraction hits. Focus on your baby, sweetheart. Nothing else matters right now. Hours pass. No word from Tom. No Brandon. Just Liv's determination and pain, and my helpless fury building with each passing minute. Then, through the window, I spot them in the parking lot, Tom arguing with Brandon beside a loaded van, gesturing wildly toward the hospital. Brandon checks his phone, looks up at the building, then shakes his head and climbs into the driver's seat. Don't you dare, I whisper, but the van's engine roars to life. Liv's doctor rushes in. It's time to push. I'm torn between my granddaughter and my need to stop Brandon from making the biggest mistake of his life. But as Liv's hand tightens around mine, I know where I belong. Grandma, she gasps between pushes, I read Mom's diary. About my father leaving. History's just repeating. No. I wipe her forehead with a cool cloth. You're stronger than he ever was. Than Brandon ever will be. Her next contraction coincides with the sound of squealing tires from the parking lot. Brandon's van peels out onto the street, carrying with it all his stolen goods and broken promises. Liv's baby, a girl, enters the world crying with healthy lungs, her tiny fists raised like she's ready to fight. Just like her mother. Just like me. As I hold my great-granddaughter, watching Liv drift into exhausted sleep, my phone lights up with a text from Daniel. Police have the security footage. Should I make the call? I look at the baby, then at Liv, thinking of Brandon racing away from his responsibilities, of Tom's failed attempt at redemption. Of all the men who've disappointed the women in my family. My response is simple, do it. Sometimes revenge isn't about what you do, it's about letting justice take its natural course. And sometimes the best revenge is living well, raising strong women who learn from their mother's pain instead of repeating it. The police lights paint our front yard in alternating red and blue as they lead Brandon away in handcuffs. 3 days after abandoning Liv during childbirth, he had the audacity to return, demanding to see his baby. The stolen equipment was still in his van. You did this. Carla Carter's voice drips venom as she watches her son being placed in the patrol car. You vindictive old woman. No, I say, watching Brandon's head duck into the car. He did this to himself. We'll sue. We'll take everything. With what money? My voice remains steady despite the trembling in my hands. The trust fund Tom's been hiding from creditors? Or the stolen goods Brandon was planning to sell? The baby's cry pierces through the open window upstairs. Liv's voice follows, soft and soothing. Carla flinches at the sound. That's your grandchild up there, I tell her. The one your son abandoned to chase his dreams of stardom. He made a mistake. He's young. He's a thief and a coward. The words taste like ashes in my mouth. And you helped make him that way. Daniel appears at my side, holding a manila envelope. The restraining order paperwork, he says quietly. For both Brandon and his parents. Carla's face crumples. Tom was right. You're destroying our family. Your family destroyed itself. But as I watch the patrol car pull away, something hollow opens up inside me. This victory tastes bitter. Later that night, I find Liv in the nursery, rocking little Rose. Her eyes are red-rimmed but dry. The police called, she says without looking up. Brandon's claiming I knew about the stolen equipment. That I helped him plan it. The hollow feeling expands. He's lying. I know. She traces Rose's tiny features with her finger. But his lawyer says they have texts from my phone. Messages I never sent. My blood runs cold. He had access to your phone? He must have used it while I was sleeping. Her laugh is brittle. The same way he used everything else in his life. Daniel appears in the doorway, his face ashen. Violet, we have a problem. The company's biggest client just pulled their contract. Someone sent them evidence suggesting we've been inflating expenses for years. Brandon? He shakes his head. Tom. He kept copies of everything from his time with the firm. He's threatening to go public unless we drop the charges against Brandon. The room spins slightly. All my careful plans, my righteous revenge, turning to poison in my hands. There's more, Daniel continues. The police want to question Liv about her involvement. If Brandon's claims stick. They won't, I snap, but uncertainty gnaws at me. We have evidence against Brandon, yes, but he has Liv's compromised phone, Tom's manufactured documents. And a lawyer ready to paint her as an accomplice. Maybe, Liv says softly, we should just let it go. Drop everything. After what he did to you. What you did to him, you mean? Her words cut deep. Grandma, when does it end? The revenge, the pain, all of it? Rose stirs in her arms, making tiny mewling sounds. In her face, I see echoes of my daughter, of Liv, of all the women in our family who've carried the weight of men's betrayals. My phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number, meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. Bring proof of Brandon's innocence or watch your granddaughter face charges too. Carla. The walls close in. Every move I made to protect Liv, to exact justice, has somehow put her in more danger. The satisfaction of seeing Brandon in handcuffs curdles into fear. I'll fix this, I promise, but for the first time, I'm not sure how. Rose begins to cry in earnest now, her wails echoing through the house like an accusation. Outside, another police car cruises by slowly, its lights off but its presence unmistakable. I've spent so long plotting revenge that I never saw the trap closing around us all. Now, standing in this nursery with 3 generations of my family's pain, I realize that revenge might cost us everything I was trying to protect. The courthouse corridor stretches before me like a gauntlet. At one end, Brandon sits with his parents and their lawyer. At the other, Liv waits with Rose, Daniel hovering protectively nearby. I'm caught in the middle, exactly where Tom Carter wants me. Last chance, Violet. Tom's voice is low, meant for my ears only. Drop the charges, or everything comes out. The doctored expense reports, the surveillance, all of it. You mean your forged documents? My hands remain steady as I open my purse. Interesting timing, by the way. Right after Brandon's arrest, suddenly all this evidence appears? I kept records. No. I pull out a small recorder. You created them. Just like you're creating this conversation right now. His face pales. You're recording. Everything. Including your admission about the forged documents. I glance at Brandon, who's watching us intently. Your son isn't the only one who can plant evidence. Carla appears at Tom's elbow, her designer suit a sharp contrast to his rumpled appearance. Whatever you think you're doing, it won't work. We have Liv's texts. Texts sent from a phone Brandon accessed while she slept? I play a short audio clip, Brandon's voice bragging to his bandmate about using Liv's phone to cover his tracks. Amazing what people say when they think no one's listening. You set him up, Tom realizes. No. I just waited for him to reveal who he really was. I turn to Brandon. Would you like to hear what else is on this recorder? Your conversations about selling the stolen equipment? Your plans to abandon your child? Brandon stands, his lawyer grabbing his arm. You can't prove. Actually, she can. Daniel's voice carries down the corridor. He holds up his phone, displaying security footage. Our IT team recovered everything you deleted, including the video of you accessing the office after hours. The doors to the courtroom open. Liv approaches slowly, Rose bundled against her chest. Brandon, she says softly, tell them the truth. Please. For her. Something breaks in Brandon's face, not remorse, exactly, but resignation. He looks at his parents, then at the baby he abandoned, and finally at his lawyer. I want to change my plea. Don't you dare. Carla lunges forward, but Tom catches her arm. It's over, Carla. His voice cracks. We did this. We made him think he could get away with anything. The prosecutor approaches, sensing the shift. Papers are shuffled, deals discussed in hurried whispers. I watch it all unfold, feeling hollow rather than triumphant. Why? Brandon asks suddenly, looking at me. Why go through all this? You could have just fired me. Because some lessons need to be learned the hard way. I move closer, lowering my voice. Your father enabled you. Your mother protected you. But that baby? She needs more than empty promises and second chances. I never wanted. Exactly. You never wanted any of the responsibility. Just the freedom to chase your dreams while others cleaned up your messes. I glance at Tom and Carla, their faces ashen. Sound familiar? The prosecutor returns with paperwork. Brandon's lawyer reviews it, nods grimly. A plea deal, reduced charges in exchange for full confession and restitution. Mrs. Thompson, Brandon says as he prepares to sign. I really did love Liv. No. I watch him scrawl his signature. You loved the idea of her. The way your parents loved the idea of you being successful, without doing the work to make it happen. Liv approaches with Rose, and Brandon's hand trembles. For a moment, I see the boy he could have been if love had come with boundaries instead of excuses. Would you like to meet your daughter? Liv asks. Before everything? Brandon looks at Rose, then at his parents, and finally at the plea agreement. I'm sorry, he whispers, and walks away. Carla crumples against Tom as their son disappears into the courtroom. Their carefully constructed fantasy of family perfection shatters like glass. Was it worth it? Daniel asks me later, as we watch Liv soothing Rose in the car. I think of all the pain, the manipulations, the careful trap I laid. Ask me in 18 years, I say, when Rose grows up knowing exactly who she can count on. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't destroying someone, it's forcing them to face who they really are. Rose's first steps echo across our hardwood floors, each wobbling stride carrying her toward the box of old photographs I've been sorting. Among them, a forgotten envelope falls from between two albums, my daughter's handwriting instantly recognizable on the sealed flap. What's that? Liv asks, scooping up Rose before she can grab the scattered pictures. My hands tremble as I open it. Something your mother wrote, apparently. The letter inside is dated just weeks before her death, addressed to Liv on her 18th birthday. I'd forgotten about it completely, or maybe I'd chosen to forget. Dear Liv, I read aloud, by the time you read this, you'll be making your own choices, facing your own battles. Everyone will have opinions about your life, especially your grandmother. Liv laughs softly, bouncing Rose on her hip. But here's what I've learned, sometimes the people who love us most fiercely can hurt us with that same intensity. Your grandmother taught me that. She fought every battle for me, won every war, until I forgot how to fight for myself. My voice catches. Rose toddles over, patting my knee with sticky fingers. So my wish for you, my darling girl, isn't that you'll be protected from pain. It's that you'll learn to protect yourself. Choose your own battles. Make your own peace. The doorbell rings. Through the window, I glimpse Carla Carter standing on our porch, clutching what looks like a birthday card. 6 months into Brandon's sentence, and she still tries to maintain connections, as if good intentions could erase past enabling. I'll handle it, I say, but Liv stops me. No, she says quietly. I will. I watch through the window as my granddaughter speaks with Brandon's mother. Their conversation is brief, civil. Liv accepts the card but declines Carla's attempt to hold Rose. When the door closes, Liv doesn't cry or rage. She simply places the unopened card in a drawer and returns to the photos. Mom was right, she says, picking up the letter again. About choosing our own battles. Daniel appears from his study, where he's been rebuilding the company's reputation after the scandal. Everything okay? Getting there. Liv smiles, a stronger version of her mother's smile. Grandma taught me how to fight. Mom's letter taught me when not to. Rose discovers an old photo of Brandon's band, crumpled it in her tiny fist before anyone can stop her. We all watch as she toddles away, trailing glittery pieces of her father's past behind her. I used to think revenge meant destroying someone, I say, watching Rose create her own path through the scattered memories. But maybe it's about letting go of the power they have over us. Is that what you did? Liv asks. Let go. I think of the recordings I still keep locked away, the evidence that could further destroy the Carters if I chose to use it. I'm learning. Daniel picks up Rose, who's discovered my old teacher's whistle on its chain. Your mother would be proud, he tells Liv. Of both of you. The afternoon sun catches the silver whistle as Rose waves it, creating patterns on the wall like bars of music. Somewhere across town, Brandon sits in his cell, probably still believing he could have been a star. Carla drives home to Tom, both of them living with the consequences of their enabling love. And here we are, 3 generations of Thompson women, learning different lessons than the ones I thought I was teaching. The letter ends with something else, Liv says, reading the final lines. She wrote, remember, darling. The strongest women in our family aren't the ones who never fell, they're the ones who learn to rise differently each time. Rose blows the whistle, its sharp note piercing the quiet afternoon. We all jump, then laugh, the sound lighter than it's been in months. I gather the scattered photos, leaving the ones of Brandon's band where they fell. Some pieces of the past are better left behind, I've learned. The real victory isn't in revenge or even justice, it's in teaching the next generation to write their own stories. Free from the shadows of those who couldn't love them well enough.